Hello, my friends. Welcome into the second episode of this managerial experiment. Today, we're going to take a look at the end of the first year of this experiment. Now, granted, that's like 12 months, right? I always vacation it to July 2nd of the following year, so we get that summer transfer window, right in the middle. Granted, 3 of these managers took over in the middle of their seasons because they don't have a, August to May type season. 5 of them took over in a summer transfer window, and one of them we have no idea because he's in Canada. Sorry, Chris. Not really sorry. You chose that anyway. He has to be in Canada, so that's why. Before we hop into all the details and taking a look at all the managers, a couple of things to note. First, thank you so much for your support on the first episode. If you've not done so, please consider going back, hitting a like button, leaving a comment. And what really helps on top of all that is sharing, like clicking share and getting a friend to watch. One of my first experiment series, I think it was the 11 Kids in 5 Continents series that we did, got 38,000 views on the first episode because people did just that. And it's essentially a way of telling YouTube, like, if you like and comment and share it, that's your way of telling YouTube, send more people here. So if you're enjoying the content, wait till the end of this episode or next episode or whatever. Make sure you go back and do that because it really encourages me as a creator to go, okay, people actually do like this. Let's keep doing it. Another thing to consider, if you've not done so, is check out the link to Patreon in the description below. That is a way for you to throw a buck or 1.2 euros or something like that in my general direction as a way of helping finance more content on the channel. It helps me buy lights that are lighting up my green screen that I bought, and hopefully someday will help me buy a new chair that doesn't squeak as much. Another thing, join the Discord. There's a Discord link in the description below that allows you to come and join the community. The reason this series happened is because people said on the last series and in the Discord, hey, what if you did a series with patrons as managers? And and there's lots of ideas getting thrown around in there. So it's a great little community. We've got over 200 people doing it. Last thing I'll mention is there is an affiliate link to Football Manager 2020 on 2Game. You can get a significant discount. I did a video on it. You can go back and look at my recent videos. I highly recommend it, even if you've already bought it on Steam. Or you've purchased FM19 on Steam and you would get a discount on Steam, the price on 2Game is better. And obviously I get a very, very tiny cut if you go and do that. So that's a way to support the channel if you're already going to buy Football Manager 2020. All right. Other things about this experiment. Some folks pointed out that it would be interesting to not just follow the clubs and the wages that they were at, but also their licenses, right? That's going to have an influence on how much of a chance they get. Because think if you've ever started a save in a lower league club and they have no money, and they can't fund you a license, that may limit your growth. So we're going to have to see how that goes. So we'll try and keep track of that. I've got a spreadsheet pulled up and all that kind of stuff. I think that's an interesting thing. Honestly, I hadn't thought about that. Without further ado, my friends, let's go take a look at our 9 managers. The other thing I'm going to try and do is point out where the club was expected to finish and where they finished in the previous season as we go to each player. So Pekka, still with, this is going to be fun, as I'm going to get good at these names, right? Yeah, you believe in me? Yeah, Hisingbaka FC, he was making $550 a week. He's still making $550 a week. He had a national B, my friends. That's our first change right off the bat. He's got a national A, so he's gone out and gotten that next badge. That's clutch. We're one step away from a continental, which is going to make him, I think, a more attractive candidate. So when he took over, he was one of the 3 managers that took over in the middle of the season. This is also interesting that the coach and assistant manager has fallen off a little bit. He took over in the middle of the season in 3rd place with 12 games played. They were expected to finish 11th. So did that happen? Let's go take a look here. They finished 12th. Ooh. Okay, let's go back here. And they're currently, I don't know what I just clicked. Okay, they're currently 9th. I thought they disappeared. I was like, what on earth? So they're currently 9th. So last season they were in 3rd place. They had 12 games. I don't know. I didn't write down the point total. I know that doesn't really help us. And they're expected to finish 11th, and they finished 12th. That is quite the tumble. Quite the tumble, my friends. landed in the relegation playoffs, but apparently made it through and are currently plugging away. Wait a minute. Yeah, in 9th. Okay, but they're only 1 point off the relegation spots. So Pekka has gotten that National A. That's massive. Will they keep him is the question. The other thing I was going to look at with each manager is taking a look at their win percentage and all that kind of stuff. I don't even have my screen pulled up yet. I'm kind of in the way here. So 23% won 9, 10, and 20. Ooh. Obviously, that's not all in one season, right? Because he's like the half season and then the first half of this season, which is why they're in 9th. So we'll have to see what happens with Pekka and Hissingbacka FC. I guess I'll also show you for the current season, right? He's in the middle of his season. They're expected to finish 8th by a pretty wide margin, right? That's a pretty wide margin if you go to 6-1 versus 25-1 odds. You might be able to sneak into the 7th or 6th place spot with that, but currently sitting in 9th. All right, Mateus is still with Nautico. He took over first in the first stage because it's a multi-stage Brazilian thing. They were in Group A. They were in first. They were expected to finish 3rd. He was on 1,800 a week. He's now on 2.2K a week. I'm going to make a note of that. And he had a Continental A, but he is studying for his Continental Pro. So that seems positive. Let's see where they finished up. Oh, looks like a promotion, right? Yeah. Theoretically. Okay. That's good. Let's go just take a look at the stages here. And this is where I'm going to get real confused because you got different stages. Oh, they're in the 2nd division currently. They were in the 3rd division. So they were in 2018 first stage Group A. By the skin of their teeth, they got through a single point, 2 points separating the top 4. My goodness. But they're able to get through. That's the first stage. Okay. 2nd stage, they beat. I don't know these teams. I'm sorry. I don't know the Brazilian teams, and I'm using the standard database. JUA 2-0. Semifinals, they lost to BTF. So how did they? But still went up, apparently. Okay, so they're expected to finish 3rd, but they went up one way or another. And looks like they finished 1st, so that's an improvement. And then this season, they're expected to get promoted and not to be in the bottom 5, to automatically be expected to be in the top 7 is quite something, I would say. Currently find themselves in 17th with not a single win, 5 draws, a loss, and a -1 goal differential, which makes sense because they lost their 1 game by 1 goal. I think you could say that's really anybody's 1 goal here or there. They have a completely different point total. Again, I'm going to try and get out of the way here for camera. Finished 1st. They also were the Brazilian Pernambuco State Championship champions. That just happened in May of this year. 38, 17, and 22, won 49% of the games. Nice. But you have to consider that means he was 38, 12, and 21 because they've only lost 1 game. That's pretty good, right? Like, you'd like a couple more draws, but it didn't matter because they still went up. So what do you think is going to happen with Mateus here? I'm trying not to click back too far. Oh, here we go. It would just help if I did this, wouldn't it? Can he get the Continental Pro? Can he keep him up? What do you think is going to happen? Playing a 4-2-2-2 DM narrow. Nice. Next up, we have Jakob Hoystrup. Jakob is still with Van Loos. I think he said that was, unless it was another commenter, but I think he said that was I know what it was. We had somebody in the Discord, Hardstyler, said, "Hey, Van Loos, nice. I can walk there from home," which is kind of cool. Like, that's what I love about the Discord. It's like, that wasn't planned. We got somebody in the community that could walk to this club. Anyway, let me pull up my spreadsheet here. Jakob took over at the start of the season. Their expected finish was 13th. Okay. He was making 40 a week. He's up a whopping 50% to 60. Must have done something right. I think that's a contract extension as well to 2021. He had a Continental C. He's studying for a Continental B. Let's go see how they ended up. Oh. Okay. I was thinking 13th was near the bottom, but he finished 12th. So, I mean, better, right? I mean, beggars can't be choosers. Here we go. Nope, here's not how we go. Oh, no. Preliminary phase. What is that? I'm not sure what the preliminary phase is. Teams start with all their league records along with 100% of points from the preliminary phase. So they got 35 points in the preliminary phase. Question mark. In the promotion stage. So they were in the top group. They weren't in the bottom group. I remember this from the Frem series we did, but I don't remember how the preliminary stage. I guess it's that you do the preliminary stage first. So, okay, you start with all their league records, only 100% of points from others. So, they had 35 points, 10, 5, and 7. That's interesting. A 0 goal differential, 29 and 29. 35 points, which was just enough to get them to the promotion stage where they finished last, but not by much. I mean, one win going different, 1 or 2 wins, they could be higher up, but they didn't finish 13th. So I guess, to me, that is the board saying this is 13th. First place in the relegation stage is 13th. So you didn't get relegated. You weren't even in that group. You're at the bottom of the promotion stage, which is just a fuzz better. Right? That's how I look at it. So let's take a look at the record here. Okay, again, 35% won, 12, 6, and 16. Not great, but the good news is has not been sacked. Has gotten, I think, an extension and is working on a Continental B license. He's going to go places, right? Right? Or is he going to stay there forever? What do you think? All right, this one is interesting. I'm going to pull up my comments here. Riley Frampton. Hi, Riley. Thanks for the comment. Said Polish pronunciation is pretty weird because with the L, with the first L with the line through it, or the whole thing, I guess, the LODZ is pronounced like wooch. WOOTCH is what he said in the comments, and no one has disagreed with him, so I'm going to assume that's correct. So I said, is it LKS wooch? Which, how do you get that from that? I'm not sure. And he said, yeah, it is. Technically, LKS is their acronym, but they go by LKS wooch. So that's what we're going to call them. In this episode, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to record a bunch of episodes all at once. I'm going to wait for some feedback here from the community. And you let me know if you think that's right. I believe you, Riley, but, you know, if somebody else doesn't believe, now we're going to have a disagreement in the comments. I don't know what I'm going to do if that happens. All right. He took over at the start of the season with an expected finish of 8th. He was on 950 a week. He's still on 950 a week, and he's not been extended on a Continental A. He's now starting for a Continental Pro. Positive things, if you ask me. They whoa, hello. Finished 9th, so just one place below. Maybe that's why they didn't give him an extension. Let's take a look here. Gotta go to the stages. I mean, is 5 points a far gap? Maybe, kinda, sorta. You know, the last team with a positive goal differential looks like that lined up pretty well. This team probably feels hard done. No, not that one. Trobry. You know, you have a -5 goal differential and you finished a couple places below. Okay, so 12, 10, and 12, 46 points. Let's go back actually and take a look at the upcoming season. They are expected to finish in 4th. I wonder why. You know, I didn't think to go look at all the transfers or anything like that. Because that would make this a really long episode and series, wouldn't it? But with something like that, I am kind of curious. Is Peter Viroba that good? Is that what you're telling me? Holy guacamole. So he comes in June and loans out everyone. They signed a player. They signed 2 players, David Schneeg and Gregors Kasbrzik. That week. Oh, I've got attribute masking on. That is a fail on my part. I apologize. But they signed some players. You know, they spent some money. That is surprising that they loaned every single one of those people out. My goodness. And then signed a center back midfielder, 6'6". Yeah, that's exciting. I probably shouldn't have had attribute masking on, and I've already vacationed this like 10 seasons into the future so that I could record episodes. So that's what's going on there with LKS Wooch, if that's how you say it. I'm gonna believe you. 13, 10, and 13, 36% won. What do you think about Spaceman Extreme? Ryan Kendall Bancroft did not make it at Wexford. Now, in all fairness, he took over in 8th place. They were expected to be last. 400-1 odds. Cabinteely was expected to be 9th. 350-1 odds. And everything else was like 50-1 and better. So, like, definitely the bottom 2 teams. He had a national C. He's able to get a national B out of the deal. I'm a little concerned that it already says assistant manager. Like, did it really just burn him out on being a manager? Has a preference to be an assistant manager as the next role. He's like, nah, I'm good. This is crazy. What happened here? They finished last. Okay. Right. He made it to the end of the season. 16% won, 5-5, and 20. They won their first Senior Challenge Cup first round game against Cove Ramblers and lost to St. Pat's Athletic, fair, in the second round, and got a draw in his last game. They did not win a single league game. I'm not going to do this for every single manager to go look at their entire schedule all the time, but I thought this was interesting. I mean, literally, he got 1 win in a cup and 2 draws in league and lost everything else. Is that what it just said? Now, why does it say he won 5 games? 625. He took over after this game. When did they? Hold on. No, 11-4. 5, and 20. Data is only valid from 6/25/2018. Is that looking at their whole record? Because obviously that would be incorrect. They didn't even lose 20 league games. I bet what it's doing, it's giving him one of those cup losses. Maybe they won 5 games total. They drew 5 games and they lost 20 games total. But like, that's broken because that's not what he did. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, that's this season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's weird. That's not accurate. It's actually worse. He literally didn't win a single game aside from a Senior Challenge Cup. So he's 1, 2, and whatever this is. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, and 11. I mean, that's sack-worthy, right? So that doesn't surprise me because Wexford, that has kind of happened in the Cabinteely save. But that's weird that it's assigning all of their season to him when it says data is only valid from 6/25 to that. Well, it's like, no, the data is not valid. And he got sacked. So what do you think happens to Ryan? What do you think happens? Is he a goner? I mean, it's kind of not fair to say if you can't make it at Wexford, but his attributes may be holding him back from finding that next gig. Ooh, let me know in the comments. What? Locke was with Kitschy, and he's with Yin Long now. Okay, he was on 600 a week. He's now on 550. Same end of contract. That's interesting. And he had a Continental B. He's studying for a Continental A. So, did he get sacked or ooh. Sacked a year later, and then less than a month later, he gets hired. So he's not really had a chance to make an impact here. So let's go take a look. They were expected, my friends, to finish first. Oh, is it not updated? I'm very confused by what's happening here. Is it still the same season? Oh. Okay, because he took over essentially after this game. In this, I didn't know they had a summer break like that, and still counted it as part of the season. Interesting. And then they sacked him after this game, I guess because they are currently in third after 18 games. Well, that's kind of harsh. Or no, they're expected to finish first. Okay, so maybe that's not as harsh. So they sack him, and then he goes to the 8th place team. So we're going to get to see what can he do, because that was at the end of the season. Well, that is the strangest looking schedule that I've seen, with some stuff happening in August and then there being some breaks. That's kind of interesting. Like, look at this. There's like a game a month. Someone explain to me why that happens. I have no idea. I'm not in the loop. But he gets hired on in 8th place, and they were expected, let's find out, to finish 9th. So it has nothing to do with him, but that's currently, they're doing better than that. Interesting. So I guess it's an underperformance, right? If you're supposed to win the league and they've kind of been winning the league, they haven't finished third since 2009/10. Maybe it's harsh, maybe it's not. I don't know. They signed this guy for less money. He's got a better license. Doesn't look that much better. All right, my friends. We'll have to see how that turns out for Luck. That is a surprise to me. I thought starting at one of the best teams would have been amazing, but I guess it's also high expectations too. So dangerous times. He couldn't unlock the strategy. I had to. Sorry. I was not expecting a second loss here, my friends. Okay, let's find my spreadsheet over here. So Andrew Clooney was with SK Austria Klagenfurt. I mean, I was looking forward to saying that. Not gonna lie. Took over at the start of the season. Expected finish was 14th. He was on 3,100 a week. Obviously, he is now on 0. He is on a Continental B. He's now getting Continental A. So he's gotten something out of the deal. Oh, no, that's expected. I mean, not great, obviously. I see what happened. They got relegated. They finished 14th, which was what was expected, but they got relegated to an unplayable part of Football Manager. So that's really a technicality, is how I look at it. I mean, if you finish where you're supposed to finish, was that the first division that they were in? Okay, I mean, and you're 8 points off, but again, if it was expected, that's not really a failure on his part. That's, maybe I shouldn't have put him in a team that was expected to get relegated into a division that we don't have loaded. That's kind of unfortunate. I wish I'd known that. And I can't even, can I look at the managers? Okay. He won 23% of his games, 7, 8, and 15. That's not terrible, right? Like, again, 8 points off non-relegated status, but that's kind of harsh. I hope Andrew picks up another job. He's going to have a Continental A, and he's got, I think, some decent enough attributes to get a call. What do you think? Do you think he'll get a call from another first division team? Maybe somebody's assistant or something. He wants to be a manager, so he's kind of sticking to his guns there. If we were going to lose 2 managers, I would have expected it to be Chris. He's with the Ottawa Royals. He's making $55 a week. He's not improved. So this is what I'm afraid of knowing this is that he's not going to leave. He's going to be there forever, and we're just not going to get any data. He's not getting a new license. He's not gotten an extension. We have no history. We can't even see if he's 0, 0, and 0 because it's not loaded. So, lesson to be learned. If you're going to put somebody in Canada, you have to have a Canadian league loaded. I thought it might be one of those things where he'd be there and then disappear, like not disappear, but leave the team and go somewhere else, right? Lots of options in North America. But do you think he's just going to be stuck there forever? Last but not least, we do have a manager still employed with the club, Derek Hansen with Ternana. Took over at the start of the season. They were expected to finish first by a mile. Like it was like 3 to 5 odds. He was on $4,400 a week. He's still on $4,400 a week. No extension. Had a Continental A. Now he's getting a Continental Pro. So what happened? They did not finish first. They finished third. I'm surprised that he was not sacked. Genuinely surprised. 5 points, but still, it was 3 to 5 odds. Like it was that nobody else had the odds lopsided like that. Like everybody else was like 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 7 to 1, stuff like that. And so they obviously half the league makes the playoffs because Italian Serie C/B or Serie C is apparently based off of MLS. Let's dig there. They're expected to finish 6th this season. So after an expectation of finishing first, they've dropped to 6th. That's curious, don't you think? Did they lose some people? Was Diego Albadoro that important? We'll never know because I don't have the stuff pulled up. He signed some players. Got 3 in the January transfer window, 4 before the season started. Let a player leave on a free and loaned 1 out. That's interesting. I'm just kind of curious. Italian Cup made it to the 3rd qualification round. The Serie C Cup made it to the 3rd round, lost to Viterbese. No, I'm doing German. Viterbese. Something like that. Had a good little run here in December. That's 4-1-1, pretty good. Kind of tailed off here, but then finished strong. Oh man. And that's the playoffs. So made it to the quarterfinal of the playoffs. And with an away goal, or maybe it's on aggregate, whatever, doesn't matter. It was 4-3. And they got knocked out of the quarterfinals. So it would have had the semifinals and the finals. So close, but still pretty far when you think about it that way. And now they're expected to finish in 7th, and he's not gotten a contract extension. Interesting. All right, my friends, this is where we sit. I am a bit surprised. We've, I think, had 1 extension, 2 managers leave clubs, 1 that I think is going to be stuck at Ottawa Royals forever, and a couple that you'd think might have gotten sacked that didn't get sacked. So I'm sure there's stuff that I did not show you that you want to see. Leave me a comment on that. I may put up, if there's a huge amount of demand, hey, you didn't put this, and this. I may not do a separate episode, but I may put something in the Discord, or something on Patreon maybe, for folks that if you're man, why didn't you show, Hissing Baka's Cup run or whatever? Let me know in the comments if there's something you want to see in the next episodes as well, right? Hey, I think you should always show the schedule, or you should always show this. Things that I didn't show this time. I'm definitely open to getting your feedback. In the meantime, my friends, hit that like button. I'm really kind of excited, but a little nervous, really, for the next episode. We'll see you then. Have a good one.